It's hot as July. No one has any problems. Ba-da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Didn't know you. Happy July. Happy July. So here we are in a quiet July. Outside of the randomness of, wild news situations that might be happening. Man, when I'm going outside, I'm noticing it's a little quiet. It's, it could be me. It could totally be me in the way that I'm handling myself socially. But I just threw that out there as a caveat. But the truth is, a lot of places that are, or that used to be open, and a lot of things that just used to be going around outside or whatever, I just don't see it. It's just not visually jumping off the page of the streets this June or this July. This little summer campaign, it's kind of quiet outside. I mean, now true or false, I wasn't there, but I was looking at some things about the Essence Festival, and I don't know, it looked like 3 or 4 people was in the crowd for tremendous acts. I mean, the Essence, I don't know, maybe it's because we're not on magazines no more, or maybe it's because people find people who they like rather than people who they're fed by the industry machine. Or maybe it's because everybody who was performing on stage is like 45 years old and up. And Essence wasn't always a 45-year-old and up type deal. I don't know what it is, but all the things that would signal, hey, y'all, we outside. It's not giving outsideness, is it? I don't know. Are y'all outside? Are y'all outdoors? Are y'all catching sun? Is sun catching you out there? Are y'all like doing angels in the sand and surf? Sand angels? Are y'all even going over people's houses and kicking it? Or did the algorithm just eat y'all up? I mean, as I'm up here being part of your algorithm, and I thank you so much for inviting me in, I feel like the algorithm and the economy is kind of tearing shit up a little bit. People are not casually like, hey, I'm down at the thing. Hey, I'm up at the thing. Man, I went to the thing. I don't really, it could be me. So if I'm square, in the comments, just say square. Or matter of fact, type the code L7. If I'm square, right? I don't even know. But I advise y'all to get out in the sun. I've been in the sun, and that's one good thing I can say. If you have nothing else to do and you live in a especially an East Coast or a southern city, man, go out and get the sun, because the humidity plus the heat gets all the stuff. It's like an organ cleanse. It gets all the stuff out of you. You just get to sweat profusely. And you get the sun replacing whatever you might have lost. It's probably my homeboy somewhere on any one of these corners passing out watermelon, selling watermelon, passing out mangoes, selling mangoes, cutting up fresh coconuts. So you really get nature's best, even though you might be in a concrete jungle. You get the sun, you get the sweat, and you get these natural foods. So, that's one thing that I'm really enjoying. But otherwise, on the social tip, man, it's kind of tumbleweeds, man. And like I said, it could be me. I could just be at a stage in my life where I'm trying to do better so I don't just edge to destroy myself, which is the fun of youth, right? You go outside and who's bringing the case? Who got the bottle? Who's twisting up? Who's and then you just destroy yourself. But I think that's become so common, it's not really cute no more. I don't know. I need some social suggestions. Not like I'm gonna do what you say, but I just want feedback on what the world is doing. The world has become a place where there's not, let me not say what there's not, but where new social places are trying to form because mandatory attendance places don't exist like that anymore. Like there's not mandatory work places. And even in the workplace, people are more engaged on their phone than having work buddies like that. So it's just a little different, man. Summer 2025, you a little different, baby. But one thing that's going to be consistent is my energy for y'all and my energy for me and y'all's energy for me if we keep this thing right. And I'm going to promise to share, but I'm actually trying to break a habit right now. And no, this habit is not brought to you by Philip Morris or Diageo. But I'm going to try to break the habit of teaching every time I learn. And I didn't really realize I did that until I got sick of doing it. And I was like, you know what? That's not the recipient of the information. That's the giver of the information. The student finds the teacher. It's not vice versa. You know, I got to put my ego back a little bit, tuck my ego in. And God be trying to like work. God does work. Yes, I'm saying God. God does work to put my ego back in the envelope and be like, nigga, boy, calm that ego down. Calm your ego down, boy. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to walk in stride and in step with what I'm supposed to in this quiet July. Man, look, given the fact that we're in the second week of July, I should be able to finish two books by the end of this month. I ain't nothing else to do. It ain't nothing else to do but get the money that's yours, walk down the street, get some coconut, get the sun, kick it occasionally if something looks interesting enough. But it ain't nothing else to do but read 2 books. You know, write 2 books. I don't know. And not to say that I don't know, but I'm just saying I know what I know. And that might not mean a whole lot. And I'm not here to convince you differently. But regardless how it go down, welcome to episode 55 of Sorry for My Language. Oh. Woo. Yes, sir. Here we are, episode 55 of Sorry for My Language. Brought to you by Grindstone Universal. And that's at grindstoneuniversal.com. Hey, look, I got some new shorts up online at grindstoneuniversal.com. I got some new hats, and I got some new t-shirts at grindstoneuniversal.com. Funky, fresh. Matter of fact, right now what I'm wearing, you can't barely see it because it's quiet luxury. Wait, let me show you. Trying to show you that mercerized cotton with that little slight embroidery. With that little slight embroidery going on. All high quality. And you know, a lot of my stuff ain't loud. A lot of it is just real cool and it feels great. Excellent for the person who's wearing it. I'm really excited about this new stuff I got up online at grindstoneuniversal.com. Ladies, I have fitness wear for you to wear to the gym or to wear to the pizza place to make it look like you worked out. I got that. That's grindstoneuniversal.com. Yes, where progress is made and truth is revealed. Such an important tagline, where progress is made and truth is revealed. You've got to make progress, and that will indeed reveal truth. And so this summer, I might have mentioned it before, but I've been doing a lot of walking this summer. Just in the heat, hey man, just one step after the other is better than sitting in the house. And then even when I do work out, I don't like the habit of just having a quick workout let's even give it like an hour-long workout, real focus, real intense, giving it my all, and then coming back to the air condition and just sitting down. Because I think that's, I don't know, I almost think that's kind of bad for you. Like to just be stagnant and then do an hour workout and then be stagnant again for 23 more. That's a 23 and 1 right there without even trying. And I just think we should be more active than that. So I've been doing a lot of walking. And in doing this walking, I've been drinking coconut water. Yeah, I'm going to keep on pushing it. Out the coconut. Nature's best. Getting all my vitamins and minerals in. And so as I'm walking throughout the city, getting these pure vitamins and minerals in from the seeded watermelon, the ginger, the turmeric I'm juicing. Yeah, I could pop a collar to that. You know, I could pinch my shirt to that. As I'm doing that, I was wondering today the difference between the red light sauna treatment that people have on their face. I mean, a lot of y'all might do it. A lot of y'all might know people who do the red light sauna therapy and the sunlight. Now, as I was looking at somebody who was telling me about, not looking at them, but looking at what they sent me about the red light sauna, I was thinking back to like the early 2000s when they had these things, and some of them might still magically be in place, but they were coming out with this thing called the oxygen bar. Places where you would go to hook up and inhale flavored oxygen. Come on now. You gonna sell me some flavored oxygen? I had to pay you for air? Now in 1990, I'm gonna say, when bottled water came out, 89, 90, and people was drinking water out of plastic bottles, I was like, really? You drinking water out of a bottle? Really? My man used to carry a canteen around, and I was like, why you got a canteen? He was like, so I could drink water. But I was like, dude, there's water everywhere. Like, why you got to do that? But see, this was me living in Oakland, and in the East Bay, we got I must go ahead and say we got the best water in the world. Well, I don't know about we got the best water in the country. So you could just go to any faucet, turn the water on, and drink that water. And it's clean, super clean. So I was really confused when people felt they had to go purchase some water in a bottle. And I remember it was Greek Fest, 1990, up at UC Davis. Shout out if you know about it. And everybody was walking around with bottled water. And it was kind of the new thing. Like when you go outside sometimes and you see a new thing that everybody's on, but you didn't get the memo. And, you know, I think Avion, I can't even remember, but it was one water brand dominating the scene. It wasn't Deer Park because that came later. But whatever it was, everybody had a bottle. And I was just thinking like, the hell are they doing? Meanwhile, I'm drinking Crazy Horse. If you know, you know. I'm drinking a 40. And man, that weekend might have been the very last weekend I drank some damn Crazy Horse. Ooh, shoot. Crazy Horse was crazy. Malt liquor used to be in, and that should have been an illegal sale right then. I don't even know how they was selling that to people. But the last thing I was thinking about doing was purchasing some water. Come on, man. So fast forward early 2000s, they were selling air. They selling oxygen. Now we all know that you could go outside and you could be amongst the damn trees and grass and take a couple nice deep breaths and get all the oxygen without slapping your wallet and tapping and dialing a number and swiping and unfolding some bills. We all know you could do this. But I was like, damn, they're selling air. And I don't know. I think the gag was up. I don't know. I don't know of any oxygen bars in this city. But fast forward to now you got the red light saunas, and they're supposed to like boost the collagen in your skin and do anti-aging. I don't know what anti-aging means. I think that means anti-oxidation. Like it's supposed to fix damage. You're not going to get less old, but I think just whatever damages your lack of oxygen is, I don't even know. It's supposed to fix some shit. Get the rust out your body or something. But I'm like, okay, that's red light. It's particularly in the Roy G. Biv spectrum of light. That focuses on the red part of that spectrum, which are energy waves that have a certain frequency. And our eyes see that as red. That frequency is supposed to be healing. But as I'm walking around, I'm like, they mimicking the sun. That red light sauna is free out here. It's free. And they're like, it'll reduce inflammation. It'll boost your collagen. It'll do all this shit. And I'm like, you know what? Matter of fact, look at my skin. Look at my skin. Look. I don't know how clear my cameras are, but look at this on the 35 millimeter, on the 8K, on the 4K, on the 1080 HP. Come on. That's sunlight and seeded watermelon and coconut. I don't put stuff on my face. So everybody buying all these things, you've been sold water, then you've been sold air. Now you're being sold a piece of the sunlight. Come on. Didn't we just finish talking about how bad the economy is and how empty the streets are because people don't have no bread? Didn't we just finish talking about that? And you're going to go buy some sunlight? So everybody's selling sunlight. Hey, here's to you being a hustler. But it's free out there. Now, if your latitude is generally, in the mid bandwidth of the earth, it's free. Now, if y'all get, if you north of a certain latitude or south of a certain latitude, certain times of year, sunlight might be scarce. But then the other times of the year, the sun don't go down. So, I just think you need to, put your little money in your pocket and rub some sunlight on it. And then once you read the effects, the benefits of what this product will give you, this red light product, you can go out in the sun and just stick your elbow out there. Get rid of your tennis elbow. Get your little inflammation together. Do that every day. And guess what else is out there? Oxygen. But that's me, once again, damn, they're telling people what to do. I'm not so enlightened that I know what to do. I just kind of know sometimes when there be some bullshit in the game. So you're going to sell me a ray of sunlight, a puff of oxygen, and a cup of water. Nature's products. Meanwhile, this is brought to you by my electricity provider. They learned how to harness electricity, and they charge me for that. That shit is natural. Everything I just named is natural. That's damn near like earth, wind, and fire. Next thing they're going to sell you wind. Be like Beyonce. Hey, shout out to Beyonce. Beyonce was she was in DC for July 4th, did a big old Cowboy Carter concert. And I don't know if you listened to that album. I meant to do an album review thing on it a while ago when it first came out. But it's not a bad album. It's just a tale of two albums. Like, part of it is really good music. And then part of it is gimmicky, formulaic Beyonce shit. So it's like a tale of two albums. However, the good part, she really be talking about freedom. She really talks in a beautiful way, sings. She's talking that black shit. She's talking that human shit. She's talking that freedom, that let freedom ring thing. In a real way, though, and she talks about how it affects her daughter. She talks about a lot of shit in a lot of those songs. I can't remember what song is what, but man, I'm gonna go ahead and say a couple of them joints. She picked up the baton where Jill Scott left off. Where Esperanza Spalding left off. Beyonce coming in, rounding the bend on that fourth leg of that 800, and I fuck with it. And so being in DC, wearing the flag and, doing all that shit in front of all those people, and then demanding that America does much better, I gotta give love to that. Don't even know how I started talking about Beyonce in this moment, but I'm here for whenever anybody is gonna tell the truth about some shit, And maybe it's just because I'm telling the truth about, oh, that's how I got to it, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm just telling the truth about how we're getting sold free shit. We're getting sold sunlight. We're getting sold electricity. Now, I'm not going to go up on the top of the roof with a key and do a Benjamin Franklin and try to like harness that shit and catch lightning in a jar and then do the Lewis Latimer and Thomas Edison create a light bulb out of it. But I'm just saying, man, it's ways that we can have a well-lit, well-heated home without issue. Speaking of which, I got a real creative homeboy in Harlem. He used to be from here. Shout out KB. He saves money. And he saves money on gas. I swear he's been doing this since probably 1999. I'm going to say. Maybe even, I'm going to say 1999. He learned how to put vegetable oil in his car instead of gas. And he did something to his engine. I'm not sure if it's the carburetor. I don't even know what he hooked up to it, but he tells the restaurants to save their vegetable oil. And this motherfucker uses that shit as gas. He don't use gas. So it's all types of free ways to do what we want to do, but we are continuously getting pimped. And that's what's bringing me to our topic today. No weapon formed against me shall pimp me. Now, once again, back to my ego. I learn something, I process something, I get excited about something. I want to teach people about this something and how it's helping me and how they can help themselves and how we can work together as a community and blah, 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 blah. But it was just recently, as I was looking at a couple, man, this shit is overwhelming, actually. I was looking at a few things in the past, I'm going to say 7 years, that I have learned, tried, benefited from, and told others about, and tried to create like community, whether it's like for physical preparation or mental enhancement or career furtherance or financial gain. And I was like, look, I can do this. I am doing this. This is how I'm doing it. But if we all do it, we could come up like bosses. We could come up like bosses. And I spent time with people I fuck with, really sharing information that I was eager about creating a new type of relationship with them through. We have our familiarity probably because we were simply placed in the same area or we were at the same cookout one day or whatever. So then our relationship is kind of built off just talking shit and, I don't know, probably some joints I used to smash or I don't know. Who knows how you get in these little pods with different people. But when you do that, you're like, okay, that season is over. Let's fuck around and get to the good health. Let's fuck around and get to the money. Like, because we had our unhealthy seasons that were fun. Like, that's just how we related at that time. But that might have been 20, 30, 15, 8 years ago. Right? So why are we going to keep doing that? when there's more to gain, when there's more, when there's just a different lanes to exist in? Why are we gonna keep just relying on the same type of interaction when we are dynamic people? So there's one valuable piece of advice that I've learned that I'm gonna apply, and that's this: don't teach pigs how to sing. You're gonna waste time, and you're probably gonna annoy the pig. That's big money. Don't teach pigs to sing. That's like, wait, who's gonna teach a pig how to sing? What you talking about? What you talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When you see somebody doing what they do, why you gonna go to them and tell them to do something different? If they macking ain't found no other action and you're not used to this person doing something different, why you think your words are gonna carry them to move their feet, to move their ass? Like, why would you think that? And why do you, now you, I'm talking about you, if you, this applies to you, and I'm talking to myself. Why would we even spend one precious breath blowing out that person's candle of samsara? That person just wants to float and exist and eat burgers and fries until their eyes close and their final breath goes out. This person don't want to do nothing different. They don't want to, they grew a lot in some years and they want to stop that. They don't want to grow no more. Or they don't want to grow at a pace that you can objectively see from the outside looking in. And in that same regard, I'm somebody's pig because I know that somebody's told me some game and I was sitting there talking about, man, I ain't trying to sing. I don't want to learn that. I don't want to do that. Only to come back later in life and be like, damn, imagine if I just peeped that game. So the allegory of don't teach pigs how to sing because you'll waste your time. You'll probably annoy the pig. If people are feasting on slop, mental, physical, spiritual slop, and you're on a different level, you go be on your different level. You don't have to come do anything to the pigs feasting on slop. They not asking for that. They're not asking for nothing. They don't need you to do shit. They are where they are. And always remember, the student finds the teacher. The teacher can't shake the student out of their slumber. I don't care if you're telling them how to make electricity that will pull the oxygen out of the air that goes straight to your bloodstream to heal you of all diseases. I don't care if that's what you got to tell them. They not here for that. You're trying to teach a pig to sing. You are. Don't teach pigs how to sing. Not even whistle. Don't teach pigs how to sing or even whistle. They gonna come with a hood and sickle. You could suck on a pickle or you could eat this missile. They're not gonna appreciate it, man. And I've learned that the freaking hard way. Oh my goodness. The way that I've learned most recently, which was actually, I'm gonna say a couple years ago, I was even like, look, guys, I'll put the money up and we could do this whole thingamajig. And if we're consistent, we'll all be benefiting by 2025. We'll be fucking killing it. All we have to do is be consistent. Man, pigs would rather eat slop, man. They don't want that. They don't want that nutrients. They don't want that nectar. And I was financially scarred by that. And I was morally scarred by that too, because I was like, damn, had I known they was pigs, I'd have just brought slop. I wouldn't have brought that ambrosia. I would have just brought slop. I would have just sprinkled processed corn, you know? Here you go. Oh, here's some old, new, borrowed and blue. Here you go. I wouldn't have had no skin off my back. I definitely wouldn't have invested in that shit. But, you know, that's me trying to do the community thing and tripping. But several times I've been that guy to say, hey, come on, y'all. I see it over there. I got the game from so-and-so. And I don't know if it's that I'm more curious or I'm more of a sucker or I'm just my pinball just bounces around the arcade more than theirs. I don't know what the fuck it is. And I don't know if I'm right. But what I'm saying is I'm not bearing the good news anymore. I'm going to do what I have to do, take care of mind, body, and spirit, which are the three things that a man must handle before you can even consider yourself whole. How's your physical situation? And I'm not even going to say mind, body, spirit, because I'm not going to separate spirit from mind. But how's your physical situation? Have you really checked yourself? How's your spirit? Does God know your voice? Do you and your inner voice have dialogue that you carry from the metaphysical to the physical? Do you consult with your inner self before you eat? Do you ask your gut to identify nutrients and separate nutrients from poison on a plate that's placed in front of you? I mean, where are you with your spirit? You could type it in the comments, or you could say something at the screen. Or you could just have a thought bubble. And then financially, how's that looking? I think those are the three things that men need to really, and I'm not speaking for women because that's just a different topic of consideration. Might be the same, might not. But I think men really need to be thinking about physical, spiritual, financial. And after you think about your condition in each one of those things, then you could go out and start fucking with other people and throw your hands in the air and not care, you know? But we have homework every day. And those are the pieces of homework, at least while living in America, that we have to focus on. Because in America, you get penalized if your chips ain't right. If your money ain't right, you get kicked in the ass weekly in America. It's such a penalizing ass place to be. Like, you didn't stop at the stop sign fully for 3 seconds, $200. You'd be like, damn. In the Monopoly board game, at least it was like you had to commit a crime. You had to do some bad shit to go to jail and pay $200 or something. It was like you had to do something. But here, you know, in America, you just get penalized for so many things. It just be little shit all the time. So you really got to be on top of that financial flow in this country. The government wants all their money back. So you have to build shit to not be able to be found to be fined. And, you know, you have to do all types of shit, man. And if you have something, they want it back if you die. So you have to set shit up to make sure you pass that on to those, to properly appropriate it to those who are supposed to receive it. And it costs to do that. It even costs to pass away. Somebody's charging you to put your corpse somewhere. Knock somebody up. Hey, if that child's going to be born, that costs you. You don't want that child to be born? That's going to cost you. So I'm just saying, you got to have your financials together. But I would hate for you to have your financials together and your spirit is drifting. You know? Might find yourself transporting sex workers across state lines or something. I'm just saying. Money without moral compass is it's a bad thing. And then if you have money and say you got your moral compass, your spiritual compass kind of together, but somehow You didn't close that spiritual thing all the way to a complete halo, and you got big vices, well, then your physical thing ain't all together. Then you got a lot of money, right? Like DJ Khaled, he's the only fat Palestinian, right? he lives in excess. He lives in popularity, and I didn't even want to mention this fat motherfucker, but whatever. But then he doesn't use his platform at all to speak about the atrocities going on politically in his country. And at that point, you have King's disease. You become rotten. You have all these things at your disposal, but you become rotten on the inside. Physically, you develop various diseases, parasites within, and then you have parasites on the outside of you, you know, and you just have several notable effects of a lifestyle that does not serve you properly. So in that regard, I just think that we all need to work on having our 3 crowns set together in no particular order. Your physical self, get that in place, because they about to snatch y'all damn Medicaid. Your financial house. The more you read, the better it is. If you don't know where to start, find a good leader. Find somebody who's done it, not somebody who hasn't. Read all their shit. If they wrote a book, read the shit. At least you'll know what sits well with you. At least that'll be like a starting point. And then get your spirit together. Find somebody who appears to be at peace, who's accomplished things through their peace, who's been tested to see if shit is all right with them. And then they came through it. You know, not somebody who's just fresher than pine cones and they popping up like, hey, do this, do that, do that. But then their life has never been tested. I don't think that's like a full testament, you know? I mean, nobody gets out of this experience unscathed, but I'm just saying find good resources. And this is me teaching again, but if those 3 things are in line, as a man, that's a great place to start, you know? And I'm also gonna need y'all dads who think it's fly to just be walking around here and not checking on your children. I'm gonna need y'all to get that shit together. That's part of the spiritual piece, you know? There's a lot of grown men who wouldn't mind unaliving some people right now because they grew up so trifling and their dad was like local, but he just didn't fool with them. And which is why they grew up trifling, which is why now they really got the energy to just delete somebody. They walking around with an angst. So dads, I'm gonna need y'all to close the gap on that. It's crazy though, man. Right when I say I don't want to be teaching, I don't want to teach pigs to sing, I go right back to the dusty trough of teaching pigs to fucking sing, man. So yeah, I need to check on my own sickness as the pig singer teacher. You know, pigs coming to singing class. But anyway, I want y'all to enjoy your July. You know, have some fake fun, but then have some real times with yourself. Have some real times with your family, with your extended family, with your adjacent family. And then if you have friends who have children, or if you have children and you have friends, I'm going to tell you this. If that's your real friend, this is a simple test to see who you really need to be fucking with. If you got a friend and they say they're your friend, but you and their children really don't have a relationship, like like y'all ain't, it's like, wait, who's that again? Who's that again? Like if it's like that and you really don't know them kids and them kids really don't know you, man, that ain't your friend. That's the breaking news. That's not your fucking friend. You're an associate. You're optional. You know? That's just how that shit is, man. And it could even be like, this is Mr. So-and-so. But like, if y'all are supposed to be like that, you should have seen this kid at least 15 times Not like you got to take the kid somewhere, not like you got to provide for the kid, but it should be like, hey, oh, I saw so-and-so today, or what's up? You know, it should be some cool shit going on. And if it's not, that's just your associate, and that's cool too. That's cool too. But, you know, and I'm saying if the people are local, like if they're in the same place you are. But that's a good measure of like where y'all are as people. You know, how many times I've seen this motherfucker's kids? Straight up. I mean, if I'm lying, then don't vote for me. I'm running for peace. But yeah, man, I'm also going to say, last note about the sunlight. I got eczema, right? And for whatever reason, like last October, it broke out like super crazy on my hands. I don't know what my hands and eczema got to do with one another. Really, my right hand more than my left hand, but the shit broke out on my hands. And that's never happened before, ever. So I was seeing all the things I was allergic to, whatever. I think it might be like, I'm going to stretch to say it's a gut-related issue. So when I eat certain things or drink certain things, it manifests in my hands, which is, I don't know what the fuck that's about, but the sun of this summer, it's got my shit together. Well, you can't even see. Let me see. All you seeing is glow. All you seeing is glow. Last October, my shit was looking like they need to cut it. I need to cut it off and grow back. But yeah, man, understand outside, a lot of your answers could be answered. A lot of your questions could be answered there. Instead of paying for a ray of sunlight through an infrared bed, you would go outside and catch you a ray. You go outside, instead of going to an oxygen bar, take a deep breath. Smell the flowers. These flowers right here, and I know I'm babbling right now, but these flowers right here came from my backyard. And the smell is beautiful. Boutique-y, baby. Boutique flower. Yeah. So I'm just saying, the treasures are outside. And I really appreciate you sitting here with me as I gather myself on this episode of Sorry for My Language. I don't even think I cussed that much. I didn't cuss that much. So it's still sorry for my language, but with a little hat tip, you know. And signing off, I'd like to encourage all of you to go to grindstoneuniversal.com. If you have leftover fireworks, don't play with them. That gunpowder might have leaked. It might be faulty. We need all our digits. Peace.